Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? I welcome you on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. My dear friends and fellows, look, we the human beings, we want to become so much, we want to achieve so much, we want to be at certain places, and obviously that is something really great, if at all, as long as all of these things are positive enough. But the purpose is positive, the way the methodology should also be positive, constructive enough. So, dear friends and fellows, I think that happiness is the real cause behind all of those achievements. Whatever we want to achieve, whatever we want to be, all what we want in return for that is, we want satisfaction, we want to be happy, we want to be satisfied. So that is something I mean, after knowing all that, and we should come to a conclusion that it is the happiness which is the primary motive behind all the things. It is the satisfaction, and it is the satisfaction, and it is the happiness which is behind all the endeavors of the human, all the struggles of the all the hard work, whatever we are doing, whatever we will be trying to do in the future as well. So in that case, I think that we should understand the importance of the happiness. We should understand the importance of being satisfied. So, dear friends and fellows, I think that we need to directly approach this happiness as well. Instead of directly approaching, which is good, I think we should continue all the positive activities which are meant for the happiness of any other purpose. I think all the positive activities must be continued. All what is not negative, if we want to continue, we should continue it. But at the same time, we should directly approach the happiness as well. How can we become a happy person? By directly approaching it, my dear friends and fellows. So, after a lot of research on the subject, we have come to a conclusion that there are eight things which are needed. There are eight things which are as basic, as important, that it could be called the mantra of happiness. So, my dear friends and fellows, I think that I think that we should be directly approaching this happiness as well. And after a very careful consideration, the eight things have been noted and unlisted here. Eight things have been noted and unlisted here, which are a must for the sake of happiness, without which the happiness cannot be attained at all, and with which the happiness is ensured. It is almost guaranteed. So let's look upon all of those eight things which are so important in the life. First of all, it is practice gratitude. Practicing of the gratitude. We need to practice the gratitude. What is this gratitude, by the way? Mean being a grateful person. What is meant by it, my dear friends and fellows? Look, most of us are seen complaining and criticizing. Most of us are seen complaining and criticizing for most of the time. For most of us are seen complaining and criticizing for most of the time against most of the things and the most of the people. So I think that is the very opposite of the gratitude. What it does not mean that if at all we want to become a grateful person, we cannot criticize anyone else. I think we can provide them with the feedback. Even we can go to courts for the sake of justice. But adopting it as an attitude that I'm always complaining and always criticizing, always ridiculing the people, always considering that these people are the bad people, I think that is absolutely wrong, and it is a kind of enmity with my happiness. So what is needed here is that I need to become a grateful person. And what is being meant by being a grateful person? Being a grateful person, whatever we have been given and gifted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and of course, there are plenty of things. Although we are not given each and everything, but still there are certain important things which we have been given. And if at all we have been given it, we need to become grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have given me so much, which maybe I didn't even deserve. So it actually means that we have to look on the glass as the half filled. We have to look at the glass as the half filled, not as a glass which is half empty. So we need to focus upon what we are possessing, what we have been given and granted with. We need to make the best possible use of it for we ourselves as well as for other people. Also, we need to become a grateful person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there are so many pains and troubles in the world, but I have been kept safe. I have been kept safe from so many of the troubles, from so many of the pain. which many of the other people are suffering. So I must be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then of course every individual, our parents, from to begin with our parents, we need to become grateful to our parents. We need to become grateful to all the people who have done even a very small favor to us. And we need to become grateful to those people as well who didn't do any favor to us, but they didn't do any bad thing with us as well. So even those people who have done some sort of bad, but as a result we have learned a very important lesson out of that unpleasant experience. I think we need to become grateful to Allah, to the nature, that I have learned such a good thing, such a nice thing. So my dear friends and fellows, we need to adopt the gratefulness. We need to practice the gratitude. Now the second thing, which is called the mantra of the happiness, that is mindful living. Mindful living. Whatever we are trying to do, we should be doing it consciously. Whatever we are trying to do, we should be doing it consciously. We should know that what is the purpose of doing it. Why am I trying to do that? What is the purpose? The purpose must be positive enough. And if at all the purpose is not positive enough, I think in that case that I shouldn't be doing that. But if at all the purpose, the motive was the positive one, but the positive result is not coming out of that, so we have got the right to stop doing it. That is a mindful living. We need to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what is the purpose behind that, what is the utility behind it, what was the result achieved till now, what kind of results I'm expecting. So that is all called the mindful living. Not to do anything else which is a purposeless thing, not to do anything which is harmful to us. So that is called the mindful living. And now the third thing, which is the mantra of happiness, regular physical exercise. Regular exercises. I think exercises are very, very important to stay healthy. Not only to stay healthy, but to stay happy as well. So I think some sort of exercise must be done on a regular basis. It could be a walk, it could be a jogging, it could be a running, it could be a gym, it could be a weightlifting, it could be a yoga, it could be an aerobics, whatever we can do. And the easiest of all that is the walking. I think that the commonest of all these, the easiest of all that is walking. So at least we should do the walking, regular walking. So that is, regular exercise. The fourth mantra of success, happiness is healthy sleep habits. Healthy sleep habits. We need a sleep, 7 to 9 hours a day. 7 to 9 hours a day on a regular basis, and we should try to have a good and a sound sleep. I think if at all we are unable to sleep, sleep is the biggest ever restorative. I think that sleep is the biggest ever, replenishment. And if at all we don't provide ourselves with the proper sleep, I think we are doing the worst thing we can ever do with we ourselves. So the more common culprit in this regard is our smartphone. I think that we should, whatever is needed to sleep well. I think that we do need to sleep well, 7 to 9 hours in a day. And then the next is, acts of kindness. The fifth is acts of kind. We need to become a somewhat kind-hearted person. We need to become somewhat a kind-hearted person, and we should not be a careless person. We should not be a cruel person. We should not be an inconsiderate person. Rather, we need to become a kind-hearted person toward all the human beings, toward all the needy people, toward all the creation. We need to do certain acts of kindness. Obviously, we can't do every act of the kindness, but at least we can do certain acts of the kindness. And whatever we can, we should be doing it. Any small favor to any other human being, to any needy human being, to any other creation. So I think that is good. So that is needed here to stay happy. And the sixth mantra of the happiness is continuous learning. We need to keep learning for all the time. Learn. I mean, the more we can, the better it would be. I mean, although we are not in the early ages of our life, we are not in the early age of our life. We are rather, most of us are in the practical life. So for all that reason, I think we should spare a bit of the time for the sake of learning, for the sake of reading, for the sake of listening a lecture, for the sake of having a positive discussion with someone else, with the people, and for the after and then by observing, by experiencing, we need to keep learning. We should keep learning by our own experiences, by our observation, by our discussion with the people, by reading, by listening the lecture. We should spare some of the time for the sake of learning on a regular basis. So that was the sixth mantra of success, and the seventh mantra of success is connection with the nature. We need to stay connected with the nature. We need to spend some of the time with the nature, not at a place where the human tampering is a lot. I think we need to do a little. We need to do something. We need to do something. We need to spend some of the time, in the nature, in the open, in the outdoor, and not obviously with the things which have been created by the human being. We need to spend some of the time with the nature. And then the eighth and the last is digital detox. What is this, by the way? Digital detox, it is the smartphone and the computer and all those digital gadgets. I think we need to some of the time of a day, I mean, out of 24 hours, we need to stay away from our smartphone and computer for some of the time. And if at all we are doing it for some of the time, so this means that we are trying to detox us digitally. So digital detox is also necessary. These are eight mantras of the happiness. I think we should try to practice it as much as we can. We should try to internalize it as much as we can, and this will ensure that we are a happy people. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.